Hello, my friends. It's nice to be here as always. I'm incredibly blessed to still have the opportunity to come to you on YouTube and to those that I meet along the way on the streets or in the stores. I thank you for watching and I thank you for listening. And I hope you too are having a blessed day. And if not, I do pray that your day becomes much greater than it already is. Thank you for that pause. I wanted to talk about school, the public school system again. And it's always been something that's always been important to me. Not the public school system, but children and schooling. The government owns your children. I'm sorry, the school system. The government. Same thing. If you do your research on the history of the school built to basically get you ready to go work your 8 hours in a factory somewhere, it's an institution. And it's an institution. It's an organization. It's not really teaching your children. I'm going to give you two verses on that while we're on this video. But think about this for a moment. If you break down the hours that you spend with your children, on an average 5-day work week with the two people who work, you actually spend quality time 8% of the time. 8% of the time. And you wonder why children don't respect their mothers and their fathers like they once did. They spend more time not with you. They're not with you. 8% of the time. Anywhere between 30 and 42%. If you look at an average number, I would say 42%. You can look at 7 to 3:30 shifts, or you can look at people who don't get home till 5 because then they're in daycare. But 42% of the time they're with the government, the school system. 33% of the time they're sleeping. Or, well, they should be. You have that small window of time, and even in that small window of time, they might be doing homework. Or that number decreases with homework, that they're not spending quality time with you, and you're not spending quality time with them. As then one will say, oh, it's quality time is just doing schoolwork together. That's not it. Just you and that child or children just hanging out, talking, playing games, having a conversation, enjoying a walk. That's quality time. That's quality time I believe we should be having. So you're looking at a very small window of time that you're spending with them. And it's really, really unfortunate that it is that way. Because you can break down the numbers any way you want, but you're not spending any time with your children. Everybody else is. Then if they're in football, basketball, any of that during the week. Now, I'm not knocking sports. I coached on and off for 20 years. And who's coaching them? Is your kid with a coach who cares about winning, win only? I've known many of them. I was one for a brief amount of time, but most of the time I realized sometimes that those households aren't really teaching certain things. I don't mean Bible or God. I mean, there's some moral values that they're not learning because those parents are just getting no respect from the children. My job was to enforce their parents. Hey, listen, you got to respect your parents, man. So the government's going to own your children. Should the government own your child? Not everybody can be a homeschool parent. There's a reason for that, by the way, and I've mentioned it before. They put us in a situation where two parents have to work. It wasn't because all of a sudden. Come on, man. I remember my father, if you look at his pay stub today, doesn't seem like a lot. But in that time frame, what he was making was very good. Was very good because of the expenses you had. So when the pay raise goes kind of like this, but the costs go this, that's not an accident, that's a plan. Yeah, you can blame greed too, but that's a long-term demonic plan to control your children, to make sure they're going elsewhere. Especially if you're Christians. You have your kids in a demonic system. Sorry. In an overall demonic system. Now, I know what you're saying. There are going to be school teachers go, I'm a Christian, I'm in the system. I try to make a difference. I'm glad that you do. But you're one class. And those kids should be home. They should be home. I'm flabbergasted by it. You can do online learning. You can do book learning at home. I'm telling you, you can do it. But I want to go to Proverbs because I don't want to make this video too long. I want to go to Proverbs chapter 1. And I got two of them. Proverbs chapter 1, verse 8. So Proverbs chapter 1, verse 8. My son, hear the instruction of thy father, and forsake not the law of thy mother. How about that? All right, it doesn't say school system. Doesn't say that. It doesn't say Pharisees and Sadducees, does it? Doesn't say that at all. So let's go to the next one. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 22. Oh boy, where was I? Chapter 22. I lost it. Verse 6. Train up a child in the way he should go. That means you, Mom. That means you, Dad. And when he is old, he will not depart from it. It is your job. It is your job to put him on. Don't complain. Don't complain when they don't do certain things. Don't complain if they're doing other things. You fell for the system. It's your responsibility. So how are you going to make that happen? With single parents who can't pull that off. How are you going to make that happen? Oh, it's nearly impossible. No doubt about it. Now you got to figure out Christian schools. And let's get into that, Christian schools. You claim that you're there, right? To give them instruction in the Word of God. Yet you charge quite a lot of money, almost like private academies. Are you doing the Lord's work? I think you're not. Because if you were, those costs would not be as astronomical as they are. Got a problem here. Well, you need to keep the lights on. I get you. But if you're really doing the Lord's work, you know in the Bible that it says it will provide. You don't worry about tomorrow. Worry about today. Tomorrow will take care of itself. God will take care of it. But you don't. You worry about the bills and you want to make a little extra money. Well, we'll pad the pocket, That is not when to be capitalistic. That is not when capitalism should be involved. You're supposed to be there. You offer an opportunity, yet you're charging all types of money. Now, we're fortunate. Our two youngest ones are homeschooled. In fact, I will say to you right now, without a shadow of doubt, that they have learned more in this short period of time than they ever would have been in school. My 5-year-old knows the first 5 presidents by heart. He knows who wrote the Declaration of Independence. He knows who Jesus is. He knows a lot of the Bible. He knows who wrote the Constitution, which was multiple names. He knows who Paul Revere was. He knows World War I, World War II. Same with my 7-year-old. Don't tell me it can't be done, because it absolutely can. No child left behind. How about no child being taught? So I'll get some negative feedback most likely, and that's okay. That's okay. But the truth is what it is. You are a better teacher than the system. You got to remember how far left it is. It was already left in the beginning and not everybody realized it. You know what I mean? But it's always been left, because that's what we call it now, left. I would call it, much serious words, demonic. But hey, that's just me. But the devil's got to control the school system. Please. How could you not see that? I don't see a lot of Jesus. I don't see a lot of God. I don't see a lot of Bible. Do you? It's not by accident. So you got them that far left. That's what they're teaching them. And you're saying, I don't agree with that at all. Okay, now how do we fix it? We can't complain without a solution or a plan or an idea. It has to go, something has to happen. So again, I made this video longer than I wanted to make it. But you break down the numbers. It's 8% of the time on a good number that you have your children during the week. Everyone else has your children. You gave birth to a child that someone else gets to control. That's not the way it should have been. It's not the way it should have been. The media, the television, the movies, they force all this. Be happy, do your own thing. You're your own God. If you're not happy with someone, divorce them, get out of here, moving on. Yeah, that's proven to work really, really, really well. I'm not talking about people in abusive situations. You know that, so don't play that game. But the government owns your child. Take back your child. I don't know how you're in your situation are going to do it, but figure it out, man. You got to take back your child. Because right now the government owns them. Don't get me into marriage certificates and how they own them there too. That's an overreach of the government. You don't have to go to a public school system. Don't have to do it. All right, thank you for your time. I appreciate it as always. And as always, God bless. And yeah, I love you. And have an awesome day.